This week, I'm going to tell you about a time when I got my heart crushed and how when I thought someone was going to make it better, they actually made it worse, but yet how that experience can help you overcome the loss of a romantic relationship, the loss of a professional relationship, the loss of a friendship, or anything else that's causing you pain. All right, so I'm in early recovery. I've got a couple years clean. My career is going well, and I finally find myself in a romantic relationship where I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna be alone again. This is it, man. I love her. I'm gonna marry her. We're gonna have the white picket fence. It's all gonna be fantastic. I'm sure you guys have actually been in that situation, and we all know it doesn't always end up that way. Well, for me, I was convinced this was it. Started looking for the ring, asked her to move in with me. I was like all excited. And then when she was gonna move in with me, she backed out. And I started trying to understand why. And then we break up. And it turns out she needed time on her own. And I was absolutely devastated. And so if you would see me in this time in my life, I'd been like on cloud 9, and then I was like at the lowest of the low. If you were to zoom in on one day, I'm in the closet at my house, on the floor, laying down, and I'm just crying. I can't believe that this dream got shattered. And I call my sponsor, and I'm expecting that he's gonna, tell me, hey man, like, it's really her loss, like you're amazing, and like, tell me everything was gonna be okay. Nah, that's not what we do when we live mask-free, unfortunately for me in this moment. When I called my sponsor, he listened, and obviously I babbled for a while and I was all upset. And finally he said, all right, Mike, so first of all, you need to accept something. You were in a relationship with someone who didn't want to be in a relationship with you. Dude, that hit me right here. Now, you might be sitting there as you're watching this. We might not be talking about a romantic relationship. Maybe it's a business relationship. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's family. I don't know. But that's a hard thing to hear when someone says, maybe they didn't even want to be in this relationship. So then he's got more advice, unfortunately. It's only going to make things worse for me. The second thing he says is he said, you know what? It's normal to feel the feelings that you're feeling, to cry, to feel the loss. But you know what? Don't just obsess over that and live in it. You got to move on and do something else. Honor it, but don't live in it. And see, I had just been like sitting there like going through photos, looking at her on Facebook. Like I was doing everything I could to keep re-triggering the crying machine and the sorrow machine and the victim machine and the pity machine and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, dude, don't stay there. And then he tells me the most important thing. He says, you know what? Instead of staying in that place, call somebody who's in a worse position than you are, that has something worse than this going on. Maybe they have a family member that's sick. Maybe they just lost their job. Maybe they're in early recovery. They're trying to recover. But in order to not wallow, you're going to have to get out of yourself and go do something for someone else. And that completely transformed my days. That was a really hard conversation, but see, this is what my day used to look like. I'd be driving to work, thinking about all these places that we were going to go together and we were going to live together, and I'd drive by the place that we would go to dinner, and I'd drive by the place that we would get coffee, and I'd think about, oh my God, we're not going to ever do that again, and I wonder what she's doing, and I wonder who she's with, and I wonder what's going on, and all that kind of stuff, and then, oh my God, I'm going to end up alone, I'm never going to be with anybody, and I'm a worthless piece of crap, and like whatever it is that happens in our head, all that stuff was happening. And then it was a different experience driving into work when my brain started to wander after this conversation with my sponsor. I would go, oh, you know what? I just need to figure out how to fix it. And I was like, no, you know what? Let's just be real. She didn't want to be with me. If she did, we'd be together. And then I'd sit there and I'd go by the restaurant, I'd go by a coffee place, and I'd think about all these things and how sad I am. I'd be like, you know what? I don't need to keep drumming all this stuff up. I wonder who in my life is actually going through something worse. And I pick up the phone and I call them. And I don't call them to complain about the girlfriend. I call them to ask, how can I be of service? How can I help? And so I did the hard work of learning how to be by myself, but knowing that I was with someone who didn't want to be with me, knowing that I didn't need to wallow. I could honor, but I didn't need to wallow. And knowing that my ticket out was to try to reach out and help someone else was huge. And I've used that over and over and over again. And it's not just lost with relationships, really when anything has gone wrong in my day. So if you've got anything going on for you right now, I am not saying don't honor it. And I'm not saying it doesn't suck. What I'm saying is if you surrender some of these pieces and you do the uncomfortable work of acknowledging the truth, letting go of the feelings and the pain, and reaching out to someone else, you might find yourself driving one day with a much better attitude, just like I did. And if you enjoyed this, or anything else that I'm doing, feel free to subscribe to our channel. Feel free to share with me on social. I just poured my heart out to you. I'd love if you poured your heart back out to me and let me know how this impacted you so I know that this work is worthwhile, and continue to go out there and live and lead mask free, and I will see you next week.